first thing I wanted to talk about and mention is that Tabconf is coming up, and we got a there was a workshop on the Spaces protocol. It'll be on. It was accepted, so it will be on day one on Monday from 2 to 3 p.m. So looking forward to that. I'll be there. Buffer will be there. So should be good. It should be a good way to introduce a lot of Bitcoin developers to Spaces protocol. And we'll still have to talk to Andrew about what we'll do, but I think it'll be about subspaces in the Spaces protocol. And speaking of subspaces, we're planning to launch subspaces on testnet 4 on Monday, and Buffer talk more about that. And also, Alexi and Alex can talk more about what they've been working on in regards to that. One thing is that Nacho.io, we'll be launching a wallet called Nacho, which will be at Nacho.io, which will help people to manage their subspaces. But Buffer, did you want to talk about the release on Monday?
So we're almost there. We should release the new Spaces version on Monday. We will pick a block height that should land on Monday for the activation on testnet 4. There's just a few things left, but we should have it ready by Monday. And then maybe we could see what to do for the workshop. So Andrew, do you have an idea in mind?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my first goal was to make sure we had a slot, and it looks like I just checked and dropped a little note in there in the Telegram that we're scheduled for 2 to 3 on Monday. So that's looks pretty nailed down now. So we need to fill an hour, and the goal is to have the participants, take something away. Now, what that is, we'll have to decide. But based on what's released and what's functional, I would love everybody to have a at Tabconf subname to take with them. And even though that's going to be on testnet 4, I think if we also I've also secured Tabconf top level name and mainnet, so we can kind of go through the motions during the workshop, see it working on testnet 4, hopefully, and then the users would be able to kind of replay the same actions on mainnet once mainnet is launched. And I don't know if there's a way to guarantee they get the same name or something. We'll have to think through what that is. So I anticipate a certain amount of presentation that we'll start off with to kind of lay out the concepts, how bidding works, blah, blah, blah. And the rest of it would be some exercise. And again, not knowing exactly what would be available to use, I'd really love to see it be more subspace oriented. And so I think that's our plan at the moment. And also just kind of talk briefly about Tabconf. There's kind of a growing theme around web of trust and identities and different mechanisms. So the Monday workshop day of the conference will be centered around multiple workshops, including ours, on this topic. And then in the evening there's going to be a broader discussion around the topic. So it should be a really good opportunity to expose a lot of folks and answer a lot of questions about what Spaces is, how it works, how it's different, what it addresses, etc. So that's the most up-to-date info I have as of just now. Yeah.
Maybe we could have a call next week after we launch it on testnet 4 and maybe talk about the workshop more if you have time.
Yeah. No, that'd be great. Again, I didn't want to hassle you guys too much. I know things been busy, and having that all set up, and we can kind of go through some things that are possible, and talk about zero knowledge. And I don't know if we can commit back to main chain or back to testnet for the subspace name. That would be, in my mind, the ultimate goal, such that a user with a wallet that controls autonomously a subspace name would be a great thing to kind of have as a takeaway.
Yeah, that should be doable if we get it on testnet. So we need like a testnet for ready in the workshop, and there's internet there. We could submit transactions. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll have to decide, what makes sense. Do we ask people to download Nacho, set up a key pair? I've got a quantity of testnet token. I can fund wallets pretty easily. We'll have to kind of make a rough kind of agenda of what we'd like to accomplish, and then do some test run to see how it could go. Maybe if things don't look like they can happen in a timely way, as you know, testnet is kind of sporadic in how it releases blocks. Sometimes 10 come in a row, and other times you can wait an hour and not a block surfaces. So something like we might make part of the workshop a prerequisite. If you're interested in participating, download Nacho, request some testnet tokens, and make sure that that's all set up ahead of the time, so that we're not waiting on anything, during the course of the hour that we have to facilitate the workshop. Again, we'll have to decide kind of what's the best way to do it, and what to tell people to do and or expect ahead of time, because I'd love to make it, make it really interactive, make it really interesting, and get people's participation. The organizer, Michael Tidwell, is really trying to steer workshops to be as much participation as possible. Don't want a room full of people checking and scrolling their Twitter feeds. So.
All right, perfect. So let's see what happens next week, and we can discuss more on the call.
Yep, sounds good.
So, Buffer, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to talk about the release, or if not, then Alexi, you could maybe just talk about Nacho.
Yeah, Alexi can start.
There are some issues with UI. There is a lot of issues with iPhone UI. But overall, I think it's ready, at least for the testnet. And probably we also have like a web version for the workshop, so people will be able to try the Nacho without installing this application on Android or iPhone or whatever. And well, the application ended to be very simple. It just basically the key generator. Yeah, so you create your private key. It saves in some secure part of the phone. And then you create the keys for each of your subspace, and you can export this key store. And this key store can be made public because it doesn't have any information which is private. And you have the options to download a certificate or to read it with a QR code scanner or whatever, add to Nacho and save it, and it works great. It's very nice to work with. And yeah, that's it basically. Also, maybe it would be a good idea to share the development version of Android APK, which we have right now. So if you are interested, then you can play with it a bit. Again, there are some small UI bugs here and there, but overall it's usable. So yeah, I think like till the workshop we will have at least very good Android version and most likely working better iPhone version, but it will not be published to the app stores for sure because it requires much more time. So yeah, I think it's better to use the web versions for the workshop. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thanks. Sounds good. Alex, is there anything you wanted to say about what you've been working on with @Bitcoin in regards to this? Or does anybody else have any questions or anything they'd like to say?
Is it good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so, well, I was working on the certificate manager part and the operator part of subspaces that handles all the interaction with users and stores certificates and makes proofs for them. The latest thing I was working on is just presentation of the data, the root certificates that get updated, and so we are testing it with Nacho to see that everything works nicely. And I think on the next week we will have something to show on the testnet that. Like a website which works with Nacho, and it's possible for a user to purchase a testnet subspace to associate to this handle his key and to receive a certificate that later he can use. And while I was listening for the discussion about Tabconf, I had an idea that we can have something with, let's say, a certificate validity chain. So to have some kind of application which uses the usual trust chain that you have some kind of certificate center and it validates that some certificate is all right. We can have the same stuff using the subspaces. And we can try to incorporate in some real life application the validation of certificates that was issued by a space to a subspace. Yeah, and after the release of the new version of Spaces with UTXO bindings, I will be working on improvements in the Explorer to show this information. So I think that's all the updates from my part.
Thank you. I think, yeah, it would be great if we could have it in the workshop so that someone could get issued a handle and they're able to verify it using space-t and subs in a simple way. But it would be awesome if we could get Nacho on the Apple App Store. Perhaps we could get it on the test flight, so it could be downloaded from the beta test version. I think that's easier to get it accepted in the test flight app. So yeah, let's try next week. I think we still have time, and that would be easier.
Also, I had an idea. Sorry.
Yeah.
Also had an idea about, let's say, theoretical part of the workshop, it can be like the description of how the auction works on chain. I think it could be interesting for technical guys there. Not sure if there is enough let's say content there, but still it can be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you could, I guess, join the call next week, and we'll talk about this more with Andrew. Yeah, but it should be very easy to fill, like 1 hour.
Yeah, one thing I
Sounds
can
good.
offer in this regard is I'll have my laptop with me, and I can, if I have access to the repo, I can Xcode build it and sideload it locally if we don't want to bother with the, getting test flights set up. I've got a developer certificate and bundle that I can use, and also similar with Android, I can build and sideload Android. I'm doing both of that for another project already, so I'm kind of already set up. So if you could make the repos available for both the Android and the iOS project, I can at least get set up to make sure I'm building it and it's working properly ahead of time.
Cool, yeah, and so you're saying that you would display it on your computer as a demo, or could they still sideload it into their phones?
No, actually sideload it on their phone itself.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could also, I need to actually do that. I'm glad you mentioned it. I need to figure out the best way to project my iPhone's display on the screen for projection purposes. So I need to figure that out as well, because that always helps when you're explaining it, especially if you're trying to have people follow along with their own phones, etc. So yeah, even if the project isn't in its final state, the Nacho projects, I would love to get added to those repos so that I can fork them and make sure that I can just temporarily put a non-conflicting bundle identifier in there and get them building and loading. That way we'll have kind of a nice fallback position. And it's also something I could do even ahead of the actual workshop itself, because we're going to be, it looks like we're scheduled for 2 p.m. So earlier in the day, people could, for instance, come and find me and get their device loaded ahead of time so that we're not waiting on too many people. But we'll have to figure out all the logistical things of facilitating it and what we want to accomplish. So, but we do have some options. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah, I think it can work. The only issue is it's built with Expo Native, and it's a bit a pain to build it with either Android Studio or Xcode. But overall, yeah, I mean, it will be open sourced anyway, so not a problem to open it.
Perfect. I'll just I'll reach out to Mike after the call and get the details so that you can know what accounts to, or you can send me the GitHub repo links, etc.
Sounds good. Anybody else have anything they want to say?
I understand that the sessions will be recorded. I'm not sure how quickly they'll be released, but we should have good recording of the presentation and the workshop itself available sometime after Tabconf.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Also, I just had an idea that we can have a faucet for testnet 4, which sends bitcoins only to the owners of subspace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a faucet on Mempool. It's pretty limited, but I was at a workshop about a month ago, and somebody sent me 100 Bitcoins worth of testnet. So I've got plenty to pass around. Not a problem.
Sounds great.
All right. I guess we'll wrap it up then. Thanks everybody for joining. And if you want to stay up to date on Spaces Protocol and what's going on, you could go to spacesprotocol.org, and the best way is to go onto our Telegram group, which is there's a link to it right on the website. So, all right, thanks everyone. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys. Bye.
Goodbye.
All right. I'm looking forward to see you guys next couple weeks.